This is another update in the endless search for Lilly and Jack Sullivan, the two little siblings who slipped away from their family home on Gairloch Road in Lansdowne Station more than 2 months ago. The case that began as a frantic morning scramble has become a marathon of investigation, with police, volunteers and forensic experts working around the clock, yet still searching for answers that refuse to come. From the moment 6-year-old Lilly and her 4-year-old brother Jack were noticed missing by their stepfather, everything shifted into high gear. Within minutes, officers from the Nova Scotia RCMP had flooded the property, followed by search and rescue teams, bloodhounds, drones and helicopters. Neighbors, strangers and community groups rallied to comb the woods and fields that cradle the small mobile home where the family lived. But after weeks of overlapping searches, on foot, by air and even underwater, no new sign of the children appeared, no clue beyond a single pair of boot prints by a pipeline and the piece of a pink blanket that had been confirmed as Lilith's. That blanket remains locked away in a forensic lab, where technicians are meticulously testing fibers, fingerprints and DNA, hoping it will finally reveal something crucial. As the case passed the 2-month mark, RCMP Staff Sergeant Rob McCammon stepped before the cameras to remind everyone that this was an intensive investigation with more than 800 tasks logged, any one of which could prove pivotal. He spoke of investigators spread across Nova Scotia, New Brunswick and Ontario, the National Centre for Missing Persons lending expertise, the Canadian Centre for Child Protection offering resources, and provincial and municipal forces contributing manpower. Our collective efforts will continue every day until we determine with certainty the circumstances surrounding Lilly and Jack's disappearance, he vowed. Yet still, no root cause, no resolution. Behind that official language lies a story of painstaking detective work. Digital analysts have now reviewed 5,000 separate video files, some just seconds long, others hours, all painstakingly catalogued and cross-referenced. Every drive-by clip, every security feed from farms or shops near Lansdowne Station has been scrutinized for the slightest anomaly, a car door closing at odd hours, the flash of pink in a yard, the shape of a small child in the wrong place. Investigators enhance images frame by frame, adjust lighting, and replay moments until the smallest detail leaps out, or until they despair that no frame will deliver the breakthrough. During that same period, more than 600 tips from the public were logged and assessed. Each one meant a call to a tipster, a follow-up visit, or a check against other evidence. Tips that seemed promising. 2 children spotted near a gas station 30 kilometers away, distant voices heard in an abandoned mine shaft, collapsed under scrutiny. Some were honest mistakes, others dead ends. Still, every tipster's hope was treated seriously. Investigators knew that even the smallest kernel of information, a misremembered detail, a car's license plate fragment, a candy wrapper on a roadside verge, could become the thread that unravels the whole mystery. In offices and detachment rooms, interviews grew into dozens, then more than 50, with family members, neighbors, delivery drivers, and anyone who might have had contact with Lilly or Jack in the days around May 2nd. Some interviewees volunteered for polygraph tests in the hope of clearing their names and helping the case along. Daniel Martel, the children's stepfather, said he willingly took the test and came out in my favor, though he hasn't shared the results. He and his partner, the children's mother Malahia Brooks-Murray, have been largely silent since the emotional toll was too great to live in the house where their children vanished. They rely on a family liaison officer who provides occasional updates that grow more sparse as weeks drift into months. Step-grandmother Janie Mackenzie still lives on the property in her small trailer, haunted by the memory of hearing Lilith's giggle and Jack's laughter just outside her door, then waking to silence and her dog's frantic barking. She blames herself for dozing off during a phone call, convinced that had she only awakened a moment sooner, none of this would have happened. She has invited police back into every corner of her home, drones flew under the mobile home, divers examined the well, forensic teams swept the septic tank. Yet she remains under online suspicion. Strange voices suggesting she or her family might somehow be responsible, even though all evidence points elsewhere. Locals in Pictou County have watched this drama unfold with a mix of solidarity and frustration. Candlelight vigils drew neighbors together under the stars, tears glinting in lantern light. A GoFundMe appeal raised thousands to cover volunteer expenses. Posters featuring Lilith's bright smile and Jack's mischievous grin plastered telephone poles and storefront windows. A provincial reward of up to $150,000 was announced, part of Nova Scotia's major unsolved crimes program, an attempt to prod hidden witnesses into speaking up, to sweeten the incentive for someone to step forward. Yet hope and rumor dance a thin line. True crime podcasters replay the scant public details, speculating on everything from abduction rings to tragic wandering. Amateur sleuths comb satellite maps, geotag social posts, and local history, convinced they can land on the missing puzzle piece. The case has become fodder for midnight internet rabbit holes, and for every theory dismissed by police, two more take its place. The MTAs call it misinformation fatigue, the community calls it cruelty, when families' private grief becomes public fodder. What the RCMP emphasizes, again and again, is that every scenario remains on the table. Did Lilly and Jack wander off, as some early statements suggested? Did they find a hidden trail and follow it too far before panic set in? Or did someone see an opportunity and seize it, carrying them away to parts unknown? When pressed for opinions on which theory feels most likely, Corporal Carly McCann will only repeat that every tip, every video frame, every fiber of that pink blanket is being examined. We're receiving a number of tips and we're following up on all of them, she says, voice calm behind a mask of concern. Meanwhile, months of searching have not turned up any new areas that warrant fresh sweeps. In early June, 78 trained searchers focused on a stretch of Gairloch Road and a nearby pipeline where that one boot print was found. They moved slowly, methodically, checking fallen logs, scanning creek beds, looking for footprints or clothing snags. But once again, nothing that cries out as definitive evidence. That reality has left many wondering if this mystery is simply too vast, if two small children can truly vanish from a rural yard and slip beyond detection, if forests can swallow tiny figures whole, leaving nothing but silence behind, and if our most advanced technology, drones, heat-sensing cameras, digital forensics, can still fall short when faced with nature's unpredictability and a stranger's cunning. At the same time, the human cost cannot be ignored. Every missing child investigation etches deep lines of grief on the faces of families and friends. Every volunteer searcher who trudges home exhausted, haunted by the unanswerable question. Every parent who now tucks their child in at night, double-checking windows and doors, feeling the world grew a shade less safe. This case has turned strangers into mourners, neighbors into vigil keepers, and every handshake into a gesture of shared sorrow. And yet, despite everything, there remains a stubborn belief that Lilly and Jack can be found. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next week, but someday. Maybe a late-night dashcam reviewer will replay footage and catch the siblings' faces as they leave the yard, perhaps with someone else. Maybe forensic tests on that pink blanket will reveal a thumbprint or a fiber match, tying it to a location on the far side of the county. Maybe a tipster who stayed silent for fear of publicity will call the tip line, Nova Scotia Crime Stoppers, the RCMP Major Crime Unit, and say, "I saw something I should have reported." Until that moment, the investigation drags on. 5,000 videos, 600 tips, 54 interviews, 800 tasks, all of it a testament to a community's refusal to let go, to a family's refusal to give in, and to police officers' unwavering commitment to find the missing children. No matter how long it takes, no matter how many miles of forest, no matter how many sleepless nights, they promise not to rest until they know what happened on that spring morning in Lansdowne Station. So if you've watched this case unfold, if you've ever wondered if your own video camera might have captured something, if your heart aches with a family's loss, keep your eyes open. Recheck your footage. Tip off investigators if anything jogs your memory. And hold on to hope that someday, this story will have an end, and those two small voices lost in the woods will ring out once more.